Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space and another Halloween video using some clearly besotted Halloween goodies that I purchased. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I don't know. They're still available as of me doing the editing. The one stamp set I used is sold out currently. I don't have control over the stock of anything. Yeah. Same with the action. I did use action wobbles. I used them in a previous Halloween video. I got a lot of flack because they were sold out. I wasn't aware when I used them. With the action wobbles specifically, I will try and post on my Facebook page. That is linked directly below the video. When they come back in stock. Simon Says Stamp usually restocks things very, very quickly. It just depends on a million different logistics. But certain things I try to keep, that are really popular, high demand, or something that I plan on using a lot of. I try and post updates and like, hey, heads up, this is back in stock, etc. Plus, it's worth following me over there because when I come across sales and that sort of a thing, I post on my Facebook page. That's usually the first place I post. We got a good little community going over there. But yeah, these were really fun to make. They turned out super cute and I love them. I just love them. So let's just keep watching and I will show you guys how I made them. I wasn't originally intending to make 3 cards, but I ended up stamping all of the little bees from this clearly besotted Be Afraid set. Ended up stamping everything twice. I had no set plan. I had a rough idea in my head is basically what I'm going for, but wasn't 100% certain, but I was like, oh, I'll stamp these twice, color them, because for the most part, the coloring is pretty basic. I don't do this very often. Like, again, I don't have enough time in the day. But with these, I was like, this is pretty basic coloring. I can do the whole thing. So I lined them up inside my mini MISTI, and I am stamping them onto Simon Says Stamp's smooth white cardstock with intense black ink. Was hoping I could just flip the cardstock around and get it twice right on there, but didn't quite fit, which is fine. I just grabbed another piece, stamped them again. And Intense Black ink is alcohol marker friendly ink. I was going to color these in with Copics and then decided why not use my Spectrum Noir TriBlends, just cuz. So right here, this is real time coloring. I do not color as fast as I show in my videos. I speed that up in editing. I know it bothers some people. If you are really bothered, sign up for my Patreon because I do a lot of real-time coloring videos for my Patreon supporters. So that's one way around it. But yeah, speed these up in my videos because it's a ton of footage for me to go through and it melts my computer. Really. So anyway, I used the TriBlends to color in all of these little bees. And I will have a link to, I have a playlist where I've done other videos using these markers. I'm still happy with them. They're great. Do they replace my Copics? No. Like, Copics are still my holy grail. I have invested a lot of money over the years, and I've been using my Copics for well over 15 years. Well over 15 years. Closer to like 17, 18 years, something like that. And some of my markers are over a decade old and they work great. Anyway, the TriBlends, they're great. They're a great option. I enjoy them. My biggest draw towards the TriBlends is the fact that you've got the 3 shades in one. So I don't really have to think. And I like that. The less thought I need to use some days, the better. So I kept the coloring simple. I kind of did darker towards the edges and then lighter in the center. It makes them look fatter. And that's just the cutest little thing with these fat little bees. I love bees. Like in real life, I love bees. I think they're so cute. There's nothing that makes me happier than when I'm out watering my flowers and there's just a fat little bumblebee hanging around. It's like, yes, love it. Anywho, colored the little zombies green and black, the rest yellow and black. And then the little accessories, yeah, it's all kind of self-explanatory, really. The little devil bee used red for the little horns and his little trident, you know. The little mummy and the ghost, just light grays. The little witch did brown for the broom handle and just lighter yellows for the rest of the little broom. I used an orange combo for the band around the witch hat. And then for their wings, I used just a couple of the lighter shades of one of the ice blue blend. I just used the lightest shades, and then I pulled out my Copic colorless blender, because that's one thing that the TriBlends don't have, is like a colorless type blender. So I just used my Copic one just to like soften it out a bit, and then painted on my Tonic Aqua Shimmer pen, the clear glitter gloss. Use this in, I think, my last video or just a recent video. I use this in a lot of videos. I love my Aqua Shimmer pens. Love them. People have been asking about how they compare to Wink Stella. Same sort of idea, but Wink Stella is gold. The like what they call the clear one or whatever it's called. I started with the Wink Stella because that's all that was available, like what, 10, 15 years ago, however long it's been. And they're great. There's nothing wrong with them. I prefer the Tonic ones, because especially the clear glitter gloss. It's just like a shimmer iridescent. Like, there's no such thing as clear glitter, but that's basically what it is. Just so light and iridescent. It's perfect, and I love it. So you do that first before applying white gel pen. Same with if you want to use glossy accents. Basically almost anything, do all of that first. White gel pen goes on last, because the white gel pen, if you add anything over it, like the glitter gloss pens or glossy accents or anything technically that, you know, coloring, etc., it will either dissolve or smear your white gel pen. So I do that the very last, and I just added just little dots and highlights and lines and whatever, just wherever I thought it would look nice. So, and because with these guys, since the lightest area was in the middle, that's where most of my little highlights were. So the other thing, there are not coordinating wafer dies for these stamp sets. I'm okay with that. They're so cute. I just don't care. And I'm okay with fussy cutting when I have to. If there's coordinating wafer dies, of course I'm going to get them, and of course I'm going to use them. But if I don't got them, I fussy cut. So biggest tip with fussy cutting is a good pair of detail cutting scissors. These cutter bees are the ones I've been using, again, for 15 years. Honestly, guys, I've been doing this so long, I don't remember. But these are my favorite ones. And I cut with like as close to like the base of the scissors as possible. And you can see here, I move the paper, not the scissors very much. And I actually do have an old video on my channel cutting out stamped images that I did it again over a decade ago. Same concept applies. So I fussy cut all those bees. I just zoned out. I didn't film the whole thing because, one, boring to watch, and two, I usually am holding them quite a bit closer to my face, so it's not on camera anyway. And I just zone out. I'm not paying attention to the filming. I'm, watching a YouTube video, Netflix, whatever. So die cut them all, or fussy cut them all. And then for my backgrounds, I have A2 panels of white cardstock stuck to my biggest Waffle Flower grip mat. And I'm using the horrible honeycomb stencil from Clearly Besotted. This was another thing that I think I got the stamps at first and the stencil was sold out. That was why I didn't use it, because I wanted this stencil so bad. Finally got it. It wasn't Halloween time. I've just been waiting. Like I've just been waiting to use this. I think it's so fun. So I'm using a variety of Distress Oxide inks with this. And I will have links to the specific colors I used, but it was for the first one I used all the colors. So I used Fossilized Amber, Wild Honey, Fired Brick, Mowed Lawn, and then some black soot. And normally when you're like mixing all these colors together, you're just gonna end up with mud. Again, these are Halloween cards. I'm okay if mud happens. Like, don't care. That's the whole point, is it's supposed to be kind of messy and goopy and whatever. So I just used my blending brushes and mixed all these colors. And it kind of looks like a hot mess, but once I remove the stencil, it looks amazing. I had fun. I had so much fun. So blended on the black soot just to give it that extra Halloween sort of a look, and then remove the stencil, and it's magical. I just love it. And then I'm just going to repeat the process on the other 2 card fronts, because by this point I had decided, I was like, okay, I have enough images, everything. I'm going to make 3 cards. So with the second one, I didn't wipe the stencil off, so like my brushes are picking up other colors and it's just mixing and doing its thing. I'm fine with it. Don't care. That's what I wanted. So this one I used Fossilized Amber, Wild Honey, Fired Brick, and Black Soot. I left off the green. And after this one, I wiped the stencil off, and because I wanted more of like the yellows to pop. So I wiped the stencil off. I was just using a Post-it note to mask off that other area. And then this one, it was just the Fossilized Amber, Wild Honey, and then some of the Black Soot. So blended all that on. Once I've completed all 3 of these card fronts with the stenciling, I am of course going to add splatter. And it's going to be black splatter. And I get asked this a lot, what my recommendations are for what, products to use for black splatter. There is only one product I've ever come across that just works. Black Soot Distress Paint. I have nothing else. There's a million options out there for white splatter, because you can use paint, gouache. I've shown tons of different things. They all work great. I like them all. With Black Soot Distress Paint. And the only thing to remember with this is you do not need to thin it down. It is a very thin consistency. It's just the nature of like black pigment, and because distress paints don't add fillers. So the other thing to remember is it is permanent. Not only is it pigmented, it is permanent. So you want to wash your brush, etc. as soon as you're done. Do not let it sit on your tools, because it's permanent. It is permanent. So shake it up really well, put a little bit on my palette. I use my little fan brush, splatter that on these backgrounds, and then I immediately clean off my brush, wipe off my palette, etc. So I let those dry, and then I put them back into my mini MISTI so I can stamp sentiments from that same little Be Afraid set. Again, this is also where they get me, because like punny sentiments, I love it. Like, yeah, watch out for zombies. I love it. So yeah, stamped different sentiments for each of these card fronts from that set. So yeah, watch out for zombies, come fly with me, and the final was be afraid, be very afraid. Love it. And then on the insides, I used another set. This is the one that I think might be sold out right now, but you can always sign up for notifications for when it comes back in stock. This is the Ring Around Halloween stamp set. And it had larger sentiments, like phrases, and that was just perfect for the insides. So I have just some white panels of cardstock, and I'm stamping different sentiments from that set onto these panels, because these will go onto the insides of all my cards. And yeah, just lined them up in my MISTI, and then stamped the sentiments. And then all my card bases were different colors of cardstock. The green for sure is green leaf cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. The other two I technically don't have a source for, although Concord and Ninth has some colors very similar, because these ones I just grabbed from my stash. And they're all going to be top folding A2 note cards, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then the card fronts that I had stenciled and stamped, I put Simon's Big Mama foam tape on the back of to give it that little bit of dimension that I love. So I popped those onto the card bases with the Big Mama foam tape. The panels for the inside I adhered with craft tacky glue. And then I adhered just one of, like, I kind of split up the bees that I was going to use. And 3 will go on the front of each card, 1 will go on the inside. So I adhered one to the inside with craft tacky glue. And then the remaining 3, 2 of them I'm going to pop up with just foam tape. So I'm just going to use some little thin foam squares. Again, gives them just a little bit of dimension. You pop all of them up with foam squares, but I wanted to make this a little more interactive. You could do this, you could add action wobbles technically at all 3, why not? But I thought 1 was enough. So pop those on with foam squares, and then the remaining bee I stuck a little action wobble on. And I used these in a previous video, and like I said, I wasn't aware they're sold out. They're still sold out, but I will post an update once I get notified that they're back in stock. I love my action wobbles. I purchased these years ago. I bought them in bulk, and I generally only pull them out at Halloween for whatever reason. So yeah, they go flat, and I'll show that at the end along with like the flashlight to actually show the glitter on all these guys because they're so much fun. But yeah, 1B on each of these cards is popped up with an action wobble. So he bounces around, and it's just the cutest thing. And then as a final bit of embellishment, because of course I had matching colors, I'm using some Studio Caudia pearls. I'm using Wineberry, Moss Green, and Mango Punch. And I just kind of sprinkled those throughout these cards. Once I was kind of happy with the placement, I will adhere these into place with just dabs of Craft Tacky glue. So I just pick them up with my little embellishment wand, put down a dab of glue, press the little pearl into place, and that's going to complete each of these cards. So we've got these just adorable little bees and this cool stenciled background and black splatter and shimmer and action wobbles. And yeah, this is why I had tons of fun making these. They were legit so much fun. So now I'm going to turn the flashlight on so you guys can actually see the glitter. And yeah, the action wobbles. It goes completely flat, which is the funnest part because it makes it easy to mail. And then they pull it out of the envelope and he pops out and then he bounces around and it's so fun. So there is the glitter. Oh, love. So cute. So fun. So easy. And then the action wobble, which is just the best part. So yeah, there's the inside, added my little bee to the inside. And then yeah, I could sit and do this all day. I don't have enough hours in the day just to do all the things that need to be done. But yeah, I need extra hours just so I can sit and play with silly things like this. So yeah, glitter, shimmer, fabulousness, and an action wobble. Can't go wrong with that. So, yeah, like I had mentioned in the intro, there will be a link in the description box below the video. If you expand the description box, I have all the info always. There's always a link to my blog post. That's always the very first link directly below my videos. It goes directly to the blog post that coordinates with this video, and it'll have the pictures and picture links and all the info. And then at the bottom of all of my description boxes below all my videos, I have links to my various social medias, my Patreon, my Instagram, my Facebook. All of that is there. You just gotta scroll down, click, follow me on all the things or wherever you want or whatever, so you can check that out below. As always, thank you all so very much for watching. There will also be a link to the playlist for this current Halloween series. That will be at the end of the video as well. So if you've missed any, you can check it out. I will add to it as I keep making Halloween cards in and amongst all the other things. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks so much for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.